Bon dia, farm fam, and happy Halloween. You like my Halloween costume? So, one of the biggest questions we get during this time of year is, do the children celebrate Halloween on the 31st like they do in the United States and some other parts of the world? The answer is yes, but no at the same time. Most of the children start to take English in third grade. And I know that a lot of the English teachers allow the children to dress up in costumes and wear those costumes to school. So you will see some folks dressed in Halloween costumes, if you will. But they do not go trick-or-treating at night on the 31st like we do in the United States. They actually do collect candy, but it's on the 1st of November and it's like in the morning. So be prepared if you do live out here to hear many knocks on your door from little children, some dressed in costumes, some not, on the 1st of November. There is a name for this event and I will put it here at the bottom of the screen. Now, previously, my family and I would go huge on Halloween. One, because my son Logan, that you guys are familiar with, his birthday is on Halloween. I actually had him Halloween night of 2006. So he just turned 17 today. Shout out to you, Logan. Happy birthday. Turning into a man. He's been looking like a man for the last like 3-4 years, but he's 1 year away from officially being a man. Today I wanted to share with you guys a very small slideshow of some of our previous Halloweens. I also wanted to share with you guys a really cool story of ours. Back in 2017, it was our first Halloween in San Diego. And we went trick-or-treating, and the kids had noticed that one of the houses that we went to, their bucket was ransacked. My husband and I were waiting at the street for them so they could, be more independent, go up to the houses. They were old enough by then to do it by themselves. And they ran over to me and they said, "Mom, the house had been ransacked of candy." And I said, "Oh, that's really unfortunate." And I was holding my son's candy bucket, which was actually a toolbox because he was Mike Myers for Halloween this year. And I think he was 12 at this time. And Miley, her birthday's November 4th, she was turning 10. And she was dressed as a queen of the vampires, prom queen of the vampires. But they had came over to me, told me that the bucket had been ransacked and wanted to offer some of their candy. So in this video, you can see me coming over, and dumping Logan's candy into the bucket, and then the kids, kind of following right after me and dumping more and more candy to fill the bucket. Now, we did not know that we were being watched, but apparently the couple set up a surveillance camera because they weren't able to be home that day. I think they were taking their daughter trick-or-treating, and they wanted to, still be able to see all the kids in their cute costumes and things like that. So little did we know we were being watched the entire time that this was going on. And afterwards, I remember asking my kids, like, why did you feel that it was important to offer your candy to this bucket? And I swear my children are nicer than I am, and they have a more kind and pure heart than I do. Not that I wouldn't fill the bucket, but I remember being a teenager and ransacking buckets myself. So the fact that they saw that, knew it was a problem, and wanted to offer up their candy, says a lot about them. And I remember, like I said, asking them later on, like, why did you want to offer up your candy? And they explained to me that, there's some kids that can only, maybe based off of medical conditions or something like that, can only get to, a few houses. And that would be really sad for them if they came up to that house and saw that the bucket was empty. Or, what if it was the child's first Halloween, first time they got to go trick-or-treating, they go up to the first house and the bucket's empty. Like, they put themselves in other kids' shoes and wanted to do something about it because, they had plenty to give. He knew he was going to be getting a birthday cake that evening. He knew we were going to be trick-or-treating for hours and we were going to be able to refill those buckets. And they wanted to share and be generous. But the reason why I'm even mentioning this is, like I said, that couple was recording us and they went and called the news station, and we ended up being on the news, and the video actually went viral. I think that within the first night it had over 3 million views. So I wanted to share the news clip with you guys from that evening. And one of the points of me doing this video isn't to necessarily brag about my children, but it's to continue to share those acts of kindness with folks. Even if you think that nobody's watching, be true to yourself, be kind to yourself, because trust me, at the end of the day, you're going to sleep better and you're going to be able to lay your head down at night in a more peaceful setting if you've been able to kind of close your eyes and know that you've done everything that you possibly can, not only for yourself, but for your family and for others as well too. So yeah, you guys, be kind. This was during a time that we were on a huge adventure, if you will, a be kind adventure. And we spent many, weekends and days doing random, I guess they're not random if they're planned out, but what we would call random acts of kindness, where we would give the homeless person some change, give them a meal, leave little change at the air and the gas, air and the water pumps at the gas station. I remember one year my son came home with a little box from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society where they ask that you fill it with change and then bring it back. And he came to me, and he was 7 years old, and he said to me, "Mom, this isn't going to be enough." He said I think he had learned in school that, there are children that are unfortunately deathly ill, and some of them that are fighting cancer, and some of them that are fighting illnesses. And the reality kind of set in for him, and he, put himself in their shoes and said, these kids are in the hospitals without their parents. Sometimes the parents can obviously stay overnight, but it's not an everyday thing that the parents are going to be able to stay overnight. And the kids have no games, they have no toys, and he wanted to contribute. So he asked me, can we do like a car wash or a bake sale or something like that? And we came up with the idea to do a little lemonade stand. And we did that lemonade stand consistently in our neighborhood. And at our first fundraiser, I think we raised $160 just from sitting in the neighborhood, putting up a little sign and raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So later on down the line, we, continue to want to do acts of kindness, and we came across this thing called Disney's Friends for Change. And you apply with a fundraising idea that you want to do, and they send you a $500 check to cash and put towards a fundraising event so that you can raise, money for whatever organization you preferred. And of course, he wanted to do the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society because that's what was closest to his heart. And so we ended up, being able to get all the kids in the neighborhood. I think we had like 16 or 17 volunteers for this event. We got some of the PTA involved from the school, and we raised $800. So what's cool is that they give you you don't have to pay back that. It's a grant, basically. You don't have to pay back that $500. So we were able to match that $500 and $300 more on top of it. So the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society ended up getting $800 from us from that lemonade stand. And I am just proud of my children, and I felt that at that time when he was coming to me and saying, Mom, this isn't going to be enough, I will tell you right now, you guys, if you do not listen to your children and allow them to use their allowance money, use the change that you've been keeping in the jar, and try to do something and try to make a change, it can literally make or break the person that they're going to turn into. Anyways, I just wanted to share a few of those little stories with us from the past, because you guys really only know us from New Life Azores, but we have a big, huge past behind us that I think is important for us to share with you guys here and there, so that you can get to know us a little bit better. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the video, you guys. Happy Halloween from Stitch. And yes, tomorrow when the kids are out there trick-or-treating, I will try to record a little bit for you as well. I will be out there in my Stitch costume, handing out candy for the little kids. And most importantly, you guys, don't forget to be kind. Our kids can teach us a lot, so every now and then it's okay to listen to them. Bye for now.